Hello dear students, welcome back to online biology CET coaching class. And today in this video I am going to discuss some multiple choice questions on the third chapter in the first PU biology, and it is plant kingdom. In this particular video I am discussing only NCERT based multiple choice questions on the plant kingdom. So let us move to the first question. Bryophytes are amphibians. This is the question. And the options are because they require a layer of water for carrying out sexual reproduction. They occur in damp places. They are mostly aquatic. And fourth option is all of the above. It is direct question with respect to the characters of bryophytes. So bryophytes, as you know, they are commonly called the amphibians of plant kingdom. What is the reason? After algae, the bryophytes are the first plants started growing on the land, because algae are adapted to aquatic mode of life and bryophytes started growing on the land. Even though they grow on the land, for the transfer of male gametes, that is antherodes ovides or the sperms, they are dependent on water, and gametic fusion is the character of sexual reproduction. Therefore, the right answer for this question is option 1. They require a layer of water for carrying out sexual reproduction. Bryophytes, even though they grow on the land, but they require water compulsorily for the transfer of male gametes into the archegonium. What is that archegonium? Archegonium is the female sex organ in case of bryophytes, and antheridium is the male sex organ in bryophytes. The male gametes are flagellated, they are motile, they swim in the water and they reach the archegonium, and inside the archegonium the female gamete egg is present, so that to complete the reproductive phase, here the two terms I have used in the answer, reproductive phase and vegetative phase. During vegetative phase, the body just grows, and during reproductive phase, the gametic formation, gametic release and gametes fuse with each other. Fusion between the male and female gametes is nothing but sexual process is fertilization, and it is part of sexual reproduction. Therefore, as they require water for carrying out sexual reproduction, the bryophytes are called amphibians of the plant kingdom. So the right answer for this question is option 1. Then moving to next question. Pteridophytes differ from mosses or other bryophytes in possessing. The question is given in comparison with the bryophytes and the character of pteridophyte. Which character of the pteridophyte differentiates them from the bryophytes? And the given options are independent gametophyte, well-developed vascular system, archegonia, flagellated spermatozoids. So which character is differing from mosses or bryophytes in case of the pteridophytes? See, the pteridophytes are characterized by the presence of vascular tissues. What is that vascular tissue? Xylem and phloem. Bryophytes are non-vascular plants. Bryophytes do not contain xylem and phloem, even though they grow on the land, but bryophytes lack the xylem and phloem. That is why The bryophytes are called, what is the common name? Apart from amphibians of the plant kingdom, the bryophytes are non-vascular plants. Non-vascular means they are without xylem and phloem. So xylem and phloem are completely absent in the bryophytes. Then what about the remaining characters? They contain independent gametophyte, which is very much character of bryophytes. Archegonia is the female reproductive part or the female sex organ, and in the previous question only I explained the male gametes are flagellated and they are called spermatozoites. So which character is unique for the pteridophytes and not found in the bryophytes? One more term here mentioned is mosses. Mosses are nothing but higher bryophytes. So bryophytes are divided into actually 3 groups, but in your syllabus you have studied about only 2 groups, liverworts, then mosses. But in between liverworts and mosses, one more group is there, hornworts. Rixia and Markantia are examples for liverworts. Anthoceros is example for the hornwort. Then Finaria, Polytrichum, Sphagnum, all these are belonging to the mosses. And mosses are superior bryophytes in comparison with liverworts and hornworts. And the right answer for this question is the presence of well-developed vascular system. The pteridophytes are characterized by the presence of well-developed vascular system. So let us have a look on the details of explanation with respect to answer. Algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes, all of them are called cryptogams. They are called cryptogams, but out of them algae and bryophytes are lower cryptogams as they do not possess the vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloem. The xylem and phloem are absent in algae as well as bryophytes. Whereas in case of the pteridophytes, vascular tissue system is well developed. So these pteridophytes are called higher cryptogams, or they are also referred as cryptogams. See, one more very important term to remember. The term cryptogams means these plants produce by means of, these plants reproduce by means of spores and do not produce the seeds. That is why they are considered, or they are called cryptogams. The group of the plants which are reproducing through the spores or by means of the spores are called cryptogams. The seed production is absent in algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes. All the 3 group of the plants are generally considered as cryptogams. Algae and bryophytes are the lower cryptogams. Pteridophytes are the higher cryptogams as they possess the xylem and phloem. The vascular tissue of the pteridophytes is well developed, and pteridophytes are characterized by the presence of both xylem and phloem. So the right answer for this question is option 2. Then moving to the next question. Yes. In chlorophysae, sexual reproduction occurs by, what is that chlorophysae? It is class of algae. The members are commonly called green algae. The chief photosynthetic pigment is chlorophyll A along with the chlorophyll B is present. And in chlorophysae, what are the different types of the sexual reproductions? And the answer is, the chlorophysae is a class of algae that is known as green algae. The different members of this class reproduce differently. They reproduce by the fusion of similar gametes. The process is called isogamy. Fusion of the dissimilar gametes, process is called anisogamy. And fusion between a small non-motile and large non-motile gamete is called oogamy. So the right answer for this question is option 2. All the methods isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. Isogamy, the fusion occurs between similar gametes. Anisogamy, fusion occurs between dissimilar gamete, and in oogamy, the one gamete, usually female gamete, is larger in size and male gamete is smaller in size. Such method of sexual reproduction is called oogamy. So these three are the methods of sexual reproduction shown by the members of chlorophyceae. And chlorophyceae members are commonly known as green algae. Then moving to the next question. Cycads have two cotyledons but not included in the angiosperms because of, see, the question is very interesting. Cycads, it is member of Cycadopsida, and Cycadopsida, it is a class of division Gymnospermae. Cycads is belonging to the group of gymnosperms. What is the question given here? In Cycads, the two cotyledons are present. Presence of the two cotyledons is the character of actually angiosperms, and specifically it is the character of dicot. The Cycads contains two cotyledons, but it is not included in the angiosperms. What is the reason? Hope you remember, gymnosperms are commonly called the naked seeded plants. They are the seed producing plants. Just only I used the term cryptogams in previous question. Algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes are cryptogams because the seed production is absent. But seed production started in the gymnosperms, and it is much more evolved in case of angiosperms. So with respect to this, the gymnosperms are also producing the seeds, but the seeds are naked. That is why the gymnosperms are called naked seeded plants. What is the reason? Because in case of gymnosperms, the ovules are not covered by the ovary, or ovules remain naked. Therefore, the seeds are called naked seeds. As a result, due to the absence of ovary, even the gymnosperms do not bear the fruits. That means they are not producing the fruits. They are vascular plants. They contain xylem and phloem. They produce the seeds, even though seeds are having the two cotyledons, but because of the naked ovule, as there is absence of the ovary, even though two cotyledons are present, the cycas is not included in the angiosperms. So the right answer for this question is option 1. Then moving to next question. In angiosperms, functional megaspore develops into embryo sac, ovule, endosperm and pollen sac. So what is the megaspore? Then what it produces later? Megaspore is developing from a cell of the nucellus. I hope you remember the structure of ovule. So ovule is covered or surrounded by two integuments. Outer integument and this one is the inner integument, and below the inner integument there is mass of nutritive tissue. This is called nucellus. The opening of the ovule, this represents micropyle, and opposite end of the micropyle is called chalaza, and inside the ovule the female gametophyte, that is nothing but embryo sac, is present. The question is, in angiosperms the functional megaspore develops into which structure? Whether it is embryo sac, it is endosperm, it is ovule, or it is pollen sac. And the right answer for this question is option 1. So let us go for explanation. What happens? During the development of embryo sac, a diploid cell of nucellus. The cells of the nucellus are in the diploid condition. A diploid cell of nucellus near micropyle, that means towards the micropyle, it functions as the functional megaspore. A diploid cell near the micropyle, it functions as functional megaspore. So let us consider this is diploid megaspore. From which structure it is developed? It is produced from the nucellus, and cells of the nucellus are diploid in condition, so that the functional megaspore is also in the diploid condition. What happens? This undergoes meiosis, first meiosis, and gives rise to the formation of two haploid cells. Both the cells are haploid. Now both the cells undergo meiosis 2 and gives rise to the formation of a group of the 4 haploid cells, and all of them are arranged one above the another. And this structure where the 4 haploid cells are arranged one above the another, it is called linear tetrad, and 4 cells are present in the linear tetrad. Among the 4 cells, from one cell of linear tetrad, the finally embryo sac develops. From the one cell of linear tetrad, finally embryo sac develops, and this embryo sac is called monosporic embryo sac, because the embryo sac is developing from how many cells? Only one cell. Actually there are 4 haploid cells. Among the 4 haploid cells, 3 will degenerate. That means they are further removed. From only one cell the embryo sac develops. Such embryo sac is called monosporic embryo sac. Therefore the functional megaspore, it finally develops into embryo sac, and that embryo sac, so what is the condition of embryo sac in angiosperms? The mature embryo sac in angiosperms is 7-celled and 8 nucleated structure. It is 7-celled and 8 nucleated structure. What are those 7 cells? Towards the chalaza, 3 antipodal cells are present. All the 3 are antipodals. And what is this end? This is chalaza. In the center of embryo sac, one larger central cell is present, and this is central cell. Inside the central cell, 2 haploid polar nuclei are present, and these polar nuclei during fertilization they fuse with each other and they produce secondary nucleus. And at the micropyle, the egg apparatus is present. The structure what I am drawing, this is synergid, and above the synergid, the female gamete egg is present. So these two are the synergids. Above the synergids, the egg is present. 3 are antipodals, 1 central cell, 3 plus 1, 4, egg is 5, fifth cell, 2 synergids, 6 and 7. So totally how many cells are there? 7 cells are present. 1, 2, 3 nucleus from antipodals, 2 polar nuclei from the central cell, 3 plus 2 it becomes 5, 1 nucleus of the egg, 6, and 1 nucleus of synergid, another nucleus of synergid. So totally 8 nuclei are present in the mature embryo sac in the angiosperms. So the right answer for this question is functional megaspore develops into embryo sac. So this is the answer for question. Here the same explanation I have given. Sorry, it has overlapped, but the same explanation is there in the answer. Then moving to yes, the method of development also I have shown. Then moving to the next question. Peat moss is used as packing material for sending flowers and live plants to distant places because what is that peat moss? Peat moss is nothing but product of sphagnum, and it is very popularly or particularly used as packaging material. The question is asked, why the peat moss is used as packaging material for sending flowers and live plants to distant places? Because it is hygroscopic, it reduces the transpiration, it serves as a disinfectant, or it is easily available. And the answer for this question is the peat moss is hygroscopic in nature. Because of that only it is used as packaging material. See, this is the peat moss image, and this is a sphagnum plant which is belonging to mosses. Peat moss is decayed and dried sphagnum moss. It is hygroscopic, that means it has the water holding capacity. It has the ability to hold the water either by absorption or by adsorption. So it holds the water, that is why the term hygroscopic. Its use as a packaging material for sending flowers and live plants to distant places helps to keep the flowers and plants fresh, because it holds the water. There will be no drying of plants or there will be no drying of flowers even though they are transported to the long distance places. Hence, the peat moss is used as packaging material for sending flowers and live plants to distant places because of its hygroscopic nature. So the right answer for this question is option 6. Then moving to next question. Which one of the following is a living fossil? First, you need to understand what is the meaning of living fossil, what it means. Living fossil means only one member of that group is living or present on the earth and remaining members have become extinct. All the remaining members have become extinct and only one plant is living on the earth to represent entire group. Such a plant is called living fossil. And among the given options are Pinus, Upontia, Ginkgo and Thuja. And here Upontia is belonging to the angiosperms, whereas Pinus, Ginkgo and Thuja, all these are the members of gymnosperms. Upontia is only belonging to angiosperm. The Pinus, Ginkgo and Thuja are belonging to the gymnosperms. And right answer for this question is Ginkgo biloba. The complete name of this gymnosperm is Ginkgo biloba. The same explanation is mentioned here. A living fossil is a living species of an organism with similarities to a species which are only fossils and has no close living relatives. The only one is representing entire group. The remaining are completely extinct or they are available in the form of fossils. There are few living fossils among the plant kingdom, of which the ginkgo is most considered example for the living fossil. Here is the Ginkgo biloba. It is the image. Actually, it is a big tree. I have taken only leaves, biloba, that bifurcation of the leaf into two parts, Ginkgo biloba, commonly known as ginkgo or ginkgo, then also known as the maidenhair tree. Why the ginkgo is called maidenhair tree in comparison with a fern called maidenhair fern? The name for Ginkgo biloba, common name as maidenhair tree, it is actually named in England because leaves of the Ginkgo biloba look similar to the native fern of England, that is maidenhair fern. I will show the image now. See, this is the maidenhair fern. Its leaves shape and structure is more similar with the leaves of ginkgo. That is why in comparison with the maidenhair fern of England, the Ginkgo biloba is commonly known as maidenhair tree and the name is given in England. So the right answer for this question is option 3. Then moving to the next question. Blue-green algae belong to. What are these blue-green algae? Whether they are algal members or they are something else. So blue-green algae, hope you remember, it is the common name of cyanobacteria. The cyanobacteria are more advanced members of kingdom Monera. The color blue and green is with reference to their pigmentation and they are compared with that of algae for having those features. The blue-green algae is the common name, but the blue-green algae belongs to which group? Whether eukaryotes, rhodophysae, chlorophysae or prokaryotes. See, the term is confusing. Algae is used, but these are not the exact algal members. These are the cyanobacterial members and all the members of kingdom Monera. Cyanobacteria is also belonging to kingdom Monera. So the right answer for this question is all of them are prokaryotes. So blue-green algae belongs to prokaryotes because blue-green algae, it is the common name of cyanobacteria, and cyanobacterial members are belonging to kingdom Monera. So cyanobacteria, large group of prokaryotic organisms that resemble the eukaryotic algae in morphological and ecological characters. Here are the some examples of blue-green algae: nostoc, oscillatoria and anabena. The speciality of the blue-green algae. What is the unique feature of blue-green algae? Members of blue-green algae are having a specialized cell called heterocyst. The members of blue-green algae, they contain heterocyst, and with the help of heterocyst, they fix atmospheric nitrogen. That is why the members of cyanobacteria are used as biofertilizers, as they have capacity to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. They are used as biofertilizers. This is the speciality of members of cyanobacteria. Then moving to the next question. Bioindicators are, mostly after listening to the question, I am sure you have the guess which one is the answer. Bioindicators are lichens tracing the presence of pollution, fossil lichens, special type of litmus paper, none of the above. Bioindicators, any organism, it may be plant or it may be animal or it may be any organism, if it indicates any change in the character of environment, any change in the property of environment, specifically due to the addition of unwanted substances, and addition of unwanted substances in the environment, it alters the physical property of the environment, chemical property of the environment and biological property of the environment, and this process itself is called pollution. When undesirable, intolerable things are added into the environment, it results in the change, undesirable change in the physical, chemical and biological properties of the environment. This process is called pollution. Bioindicators are nothing but, what is the importance of lichens? Hope you remember, lichens are the composite organisms where one part is algae and another part is fungi. So lichens are not the single organisms. That is why in the Whitaker's 5 kingdom classification, they are not included or assigned in any of the 5 kingdoms, because a lichen is composite organism. The lichen is considered as composite organism where one component is algae and another component is fungi. Algal component is called phycobiont and fungal component is called mycobiont. So algae, due to the presence of chlorophyll, it synthesizes food and it carry out photosynthesis. But fungi do not contain chlorophyll. The fungi are the non-chlorophyllous plants, do not contain chlorophyll but it absorbs water and minerals. Water and minerals are absorbed by the fungi, whereas algae carry out the photosynthesis. The composite association between algae and fungi result in the formation of lichens, and lichens are very good indicators of the environment pollution, especially they are very sensitive to the sulfur dioxide. Lichens are very good pollution indicators. They do not grow in polluted area, and this is the lichen I have shown. The algal component is called phycobiont and the fungal component is called mycobiont. So the right answer for this question is option 1. Then moving to next question. So here images are given and all of them are from the NCERT text only. Which of the following is correct option? What A represents, what B represents, what C represents, and what D represents. And the right option for this question is, if you are familiar with the images, you can easily identify. A represents porphyra, B is fucus, C is dictyota, and D is polysiphonia. All these are the members of algae, but they belong to different classes. See, the porphyra, it is belonging to red algae, and fucus, it is belonging to brown algae. Then dictyota, it is also belonging to brown algae, and polysiphonia is once again member of red algae. So both of them are, all of them are the members of algae. Porphyra is a member of red algae, then fucus is a member of brown algae, dictyota is also a member of brown algae, and polysiphonia is a member of red algae. So rhodophyceae and phaeophyceae members are given in the image, and the right answer for this question is option 1. Then next question. Yes, moving to the next question. What is true about male and female gametophyte in plant kingdom? So here, with respect to the plant kingdom, the question is asked with reference to the male and female gametophyte. So in case of bryophytes and pteridophytes, the gametophyte is, in case of bryophytes, the gametophyte is a dominant phase, whereas in case of pteridophytes, sporophyte is the dominant phase. Which phase is dominant? Apart from that, in bryophytes and pteridophytes, they have independent free living existence. It is true. The male and female gametophytes have got independent existence in case of both bryophytes as well as pteridophytes. In gymnosperms and angiosperms, they have no independent free existence. In case of gymnosperms as well as angiosperms, the gametophyte don't have independent free living existence. They are growing or they remain attached with the sporophyte itself, whereas they have the free living existence in case of bryophytes and pteridophytes. So both the statements regarding the gymnosperms and angiosperms as well as for the bryophytes and pteridophytes with reference to the male and female gametophyte is correct. Therefore, the right answer for this question is option 3. In bryophytes and pteridophytes, the gametophyte has independent free living existence. In gymnosperms and angiosperms, they have no independent free living existence. So both the statements are correct, and the right answer for this question is option 3. Then moving to the next one. An important difference between the zoospores and aplanospores is that zoospores are uninucleate while aplanospores are binucleate. Zoospores are large while aplanospores are smaller. Zoospores are motile while aplanospores are non-motile, and none of the above. The major or an important difference between zoospores and aplanospores is the zoospores are motile whereas aplanospores are non-motile. They are the asexual spores produced during asexual reproduction in case of algae and fungi. They are formed from a part of the protoplast of a vegetative cell. Zoospores are flagellated. Because of that reason they are motile, and germination they gives rise to the new plants. And aplanospores are non-motile. Here is the image of aplanospore of Spirogyra, which is an algae, and it is the zoospore of Chlamydomonas, which is also an algae. In the zoospore you can see the presence of flagella, and due to the presence of flagella, the zoospores are motile in nature, whereas for the aplanospore no locomotor structure or flagella is absent. Therefore aplanospores are non-motile. So the right answer for this question is option 3. Moving to the next question. Endosperm of gymnosperm is, very important question. The options are haploid, triploid, diploid, tetraploid. Haploid means having single set of chromosome. Diploid means 2n having double set of chromosome. Triploid means having 3 sets of chromosome represented by 3n. Tetraploid means having the 4 set of chromosomes represented by 4n. N for haploid, 2n for diploid, 3n for triploid, and 4n for tetraploid. This is called ploidy. What is the meaning of ploidy? Here I am using one term to elaborate the terms like haploid, diploid, triploid and tetraploid. The term I am using is ploidy. Ploidy means, so let me clear this one. So once again I can write it properly. The ploidy means total sets of chromosomes present in an organism. If you go through the questions of NCERT after the completion of theory, there you will come across the term ploidy, present in an organism. What is the total number of chromosomes? With respect to that, if single set is present, it is haploid represented by small n. If double set is present, represented by 2n. If triple sets are present, represented by 3n. If 4 sets are present, it is represented by 4n. And 4n is called tetraploid. With respect to the number of chromosomal sets in an organism, the condition or the term used to describe is ploidy. And the right answer for this question is the endosperm of the gymnosperms is haploid. So this one is the right answer. Then question is, why it is haploid and where do you find the triploid endosperm? See, the triploid endosperm is the product of double fertilization. Double fertilization, it occurs in angiosperms. The double fertilization is occurring in the angiosperms. As a result, the triploid endosperm is produced in case of angiosperms. And how it is formed? The triploid endosperm is produced by the fusion between secondary nucleus, which is diploid, and one male gamete which is discharged or released by the pollen tube. So male gamete will be haploid. 2n plus 3n, 2n plus n, it gives rise to the formation of pen, that is primary endosperm nucleus, and it is triploid. And finally primary endosperm nucleus, it develops into endosperm, so that endosperm is also triploid in nature in case of angiosperms. And this secondary nucleus is a product of fusion between two haploid polar nuclei. The two haploid polar nuclei fuse with each other, that gives rise to the formation of secondary nucleus. Secondary nucleus combines with one of the male gametes which are discharged by the pollen tube, because one has fused with the egg to produce the zygote, and remaining one fuses with the secondary nucleus to produce the pen, which is a triploid in condition. And pen gives rise to the development of endosperm. And here is the answer. The endosperm of gymnosperms is haploid. It is pre-fertilization tissue. Why the endosperm is haploid? Here I will highlight the things so that you can clearly see the answer. The endosperm in gymnosperms. The endosperm in gymnosperms is pre-fertilization tissue. Pre-fertilization tissue means produced before the fertilization itself. Before the process of fertilization only, the endosperm is produced. Therefore, endosperm of the gymnosperms is haploid in nature. Both the things you need to remember. The endosperm of the gymnosperm is a haploid structure. And why it is a haploid? Because the endosperm of the gymnosperms is the pre-fertilization tissue which is produced before the fertilization, hence it is haploid in nature. Whereas in case of angiosperms, the endosperm is post-fertilization tissue and it is triploid in nature. For more clarity, these are the images of endosperm in gymnosperm, and the example taken is ginkgo biloba, which is a living fossil. This is the endosperm and it is haploid in nature, and this is embryo. And in case of angiosperms, this is the endosperm, and in the center, whatever the structure you can see, that represents embryo. Why the endosperm of gymnosperms is haploid? The reason to remember is it is pre-fertilization tissue produced before the fertilization. Hence, in gymnosperms, endosperm is haploid condition. Then moving to the next question. When pollen of a flower is transferred to the stigma of another flower of the same plant, this pollination is referred to as. Very interesting question. So, what is the condition given here? When the pollen of a flower is transferred to stigma of another flower, but both the flowers are produced on the same plant, and this pollination is referred to as. So first let me describe what is pollination, then I will elaborate what are the different terms for the reference with pollination. See, pollination is a process, and during pollination the pollen grains, what is pollen grain? The pollen grain represents male gametophyte. The pollen grain represents male gametophyte. The pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. Stigma is part of the carpel, or the stigma is part of carpel. See, this is stigma, this one is a style. Inside, style is connected to ovary, and inside the ovary ovules are present, and all these parts are located on the thalamus. This is stigma. When pollen grains are transferred to the stigma, the process is called pollination. Here the condition is given. What is happening in the given question, or what is the condition in the given question? This is one plant. Here is one flower with anther and with stigma. Let us mark this flower as A, and this is another flower of the same plant, and let us mark this flower as B. What is the given condition? The pollen grains of one flower are transferred to the stigma of another flower. If we take the flowers as A and B here, from A flower the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma of B flower. But what is the condition? Both the flowers are produced in the same plant. Both the flowers are produced in the same plant, and this becomes self-pollination. And the proper term, or the specific term to describe this condition is geitonogamy. It is a type of self-pollination in which the pollen grains of one flower are transferred to the pollen grains of another flower, but both the flowers are born on the same plant. This kind of self-pollination, it is a specific type of self-pollination, and it is known as geitonogamy. Autogamy is called self-pollination. Allogamy is called cross-pollination. Xenogamy is also nothing but cross-pollination. Let me elaborate what exactly happens in the xenogamy. So in case of xenogamy, let us elaborate. In case of xenogamy, which is also a type of pollination, but it is cross-pollination. It is not self-pollination. What happened in case of self-pollination? Pollen grain of one flower is transferred to the stigma of another flower, but both the flowers are born on the same plant. But in case of xenogamy, the condition is totally opposite. Say, this is one plant. Here it has produced the flower. Just for proper understanding purpose, I am drawing the diagrams like this. This is A plant, and this one is B plant. Both the plants have produced the flowers. So both the plants have produced the flower. But what is happening here? The pollen grains from a plant flower are transferred to the flower which is born on the bee plant. That means the two different flowers are born on two different plants. But what is the condition here? These are the two different flowers, but both of them have developed or born on the same plant. In case of xenogamy, the pollen grain of one flower is transferred to the stigma of another flower, where the flowers are produced on two different plants. Where the flowers are produced on two different plants, such a type of pollination is called xenogamy. I will write the definition here so that it will be clear for you. It is a type of pollination in which pollen grains of one flower are transferred to stigma of another flower produced by two different plants. Both the flowers are produced by two different plants. Such a type of pollination is called xenogamy. If both the flowers are produced by the same plant, if the pollen grains of one flower are transferred to the stigma of another flower, where both the flowers are produced on the same plant, that kind of the pollination is called geitonogamy. If two flowers are produced by two separate plants, if the pollen transfer occurs, it is called xenogamy. So this is the answer, and here is the one simple image to show the geitonogamy. Then moving to next question. When pollen tube enters through the funiculus or integuments, it is called porogamy, chalazogamy. The spelling mistake is there. You please make it correct. Here it is mesogamy. That M is missing. Let me clear this one. It is third option in the given question is mesogamy. The term is mesogamy. That M is missed. What is the process called? See, when pollen tube enters through the funiculus or integument, what happens? When pollen grain is transferred to the stigma, it undergoes germination, and from the pollen grain, the pollen tube is produced. That pollen tube carries two haploid male gametes which are produced from generative cell of the pollen grain, and those male gametes should be discharged into the embryo sac to execute double fertilization. It is also followed by triple fusion. Along with the double fertilization and triple fusion. When pollen tube enters through the micropyle, it is called porogamy. When pollen tube enters through the chalaza, it is called chalazogamy. Isogamy is unrelated term, and isogamy refers to fusion between morphologically similar gametes. So which one is the right answer? When pollen tube enters through the funiculus or integument, it is called mesogamy. Entry of pollen tube through the integuments or the funiculus, it is called, funicle means stalk of the ovule. The stalk of the ovule is called funicle. When it enters through the funicle or integuments, it is called mesogamy, and this type is observed in case of cucurbita, that is sautekai. The process of two more terms. The process of entry of pollen tube into the ovary through the micropyle is called porogamy. Example, most of the angiosperms, in almost all the angiosperms, maximum angiosperms, the porogamy is observed. When pollen tube enters through the chalaza, it is called chalazogamy, and example is betula. The same here I have shown with the help of image. This is the complete structure of ovule with the embryo sac. The ovule stalk is called funiculus, stalk of the ovule. The pore where integuments are not attached, it is called micropyle, and these protective coverings of the ovule, they are called integuments. The nutritive tissue which is present in the ovule is called nucellus. In the center of the nucellus, the mature embryo sac is present, which is a 7-celled and 8-nucleated structure. This end is micropyle and opposite end is chalaza. See here, when the pollen tube enters through the micropyle, this pore is micropyle, the process is called porogamy. When pollen tube enters through the chalaza, opposite to the micropyle, first entry is through the chalaza, it is called chalazogamy. When the pollen tube enters into the ovule through the integuments or through the funiculus, it is called mesogamy. And in the given question, the asked question is, when pollen tube enters through the funiculus or integument, it is called mesogamy. Then moving to the next question. Reindeer moss is a common name of which moss is commonly called reindeer moss? The moss answer for this question is the Cladonia rangifera. Cladonia rangifera, it is the commonly known as reindeer moss. I will show the image. This grows, the detailed explanation it is given, and don't get confused with the name moss. It is not a bryophyte. Actually, reindeer moss is a lichen. It is a composite plant of algae and fungi. Don't get confused with the term as it is referred as moss. It is a lichen which is combination of algae and sharing symbiotic relationship, forming new plant with the fungi. It rarely reaches more than 17 centimeters in height. Reindeer, which is also called Karibo, Himasaranga, Kannada name for this one is Himasaranga. They are very specifically characterized by their branched horns. So this is Himasaranga, image of the reindeer or Karibo, or the Kannada name Himasaranga. Can smell the lichen through the snow. Even it is grown below the snow, it can smell the lichen, that is Cladonia rangifera, and paw down to eat it. It recognizes this particular lichen by its smell and it feeds on that lichen. This is the image of reindeer moss, which is nothing but a lichen, and reindeer moss has ability to convert sunlight into food. Very important, even in a low temperature and low light conditions. It is not easily damaged by the frost. Even though the ice is covered, even though very less light is available, this lichen is able to synthesize the food, and even it is not damaged by the frost. This is the speciality of reindeer moss, as it is specifically recognized by reindeer, therefore it is referred to as reindeer moss. So moving to the next one, remember it is not a moss, it is not a bryophyte, it is a lichen species, Cladonia rangifera or rangifera, both can be pronounced. Then, which of the following correctly explains why rhodophyta exhibit a red color? What is that rhodophyta? They are the members of algae. They are red in color or they exhibit red color. What is the reason? Instead of other discussion, here I will go for the direct answer and I will elaborate the answer. The wavelength of light that absorbed by the chlorophyll are passed to R phycoerythrin or simply phycoerythrin, which is a red color pigment responsible for the red coloration of the rhodophyta members. See, these members, they absorb the blue-green coloration, visible spectrum light radiations, especially blue-green radiations are completely absorbed, which are on the surface of the water body. They show the red coloration, which are away from the surface, either in the middle part or in the bottom of the sea water. They show the different colors like blue and green variations. Combination will be there, which are maximum exposed to the sunlight. They show the red pigmentation. Whatever the blue-green light in the visible spectrum is absorbed, it is all reflected and passed through the phycoerythrin, which is red pigment responsible for the red color of rhodophyta members. So the right answer for this question is option 2. Then moving to the next question. This one is also very interesting and image is also very beautiful. I will show while explaining the answer. Red snow causing alga is. The question is, what is this red snow? Snow means ice. Then the question is, ice is white in color. Unless we put some colored liquid on that, it don't get any color. It is white in color. Then question is, why this snow or the ice, it shows red color? Sometimes it is also referred as blood snow or watermelon snow. Another name of red snow is blood snow or watermelon snow. When we cut the watermelon, whatever the color is observed inside the fruit, the same color is reflected or shown by the snow. That is why it is called watermelon snow. And the algae which is responsible for this particular coloration of the ice is Chlamydomonas nivalis. Then question is, Chlamydomonas is green algae. The previous one question only I told in comparison with zoospores and aplanospores. Then what is the relation between Chlamydomonas and red color? The answer is, red snow is a phenomenon caused by Chlamydomonas nivalis, which is a main species of green algae. But this contains a secondary red carotenoid pigment. Green pigment is more dominating one, maximum present, but some red pigment is also present in the Chlamydomonas. And this pigment which is present in green algae, the red pigment present in the green algae is astaxanthin in addition to chlorophyll. Sometimes it is accumulated and it is exposed, and this provides the red appearance for the snow. That's what, see, the color is somewhat similar to the watermelon. Edges are white and here and there red patches can be very clearly seen, and this is because of the red pigment which is present in the Chlamydomonas nivalis, but the main dominating pigment is chlorophyll. Due to that red pigment only, the snow, it exhibits red color, and it is caused by Chlamydomonas nivalis. So the answer is Chlamydomonas nivalis. Other names to remember: watermelon slough or blood snow. Then moving to next question. Yes, some images of algal members is given, and again the images are from NCERT text only. What are these images represents? A is volvox, B is Chlamydomonas, C is Laminaria, and D is Chara. So the correct option for this question is option 1. So let us know to which group does these algae are belonging. So volvox, this is volvox, and it is a member of green algae. Second one is Chlamydomonas. This is also member of green algae. Laminaria, lamnarin, hope you remember, this is member of brown algae. And Chara is also member of green algae. So Phaeophyceae and Chlorophyceae members are represented with the images. So the correct option for this one is option 1. Volvox belongs to green algae. Chlamydomonas is also belonging to green algae. Laminaria is belonging to brown algae, and Chara is belonging to green algae. Then moving to the diagram based question from the same chapter. Which is the right option? Here ABCD letters are given, and with respect to ABCD the parts are mentioned in the column. We need to identify what is A, what is B, what is C, and what is D. Okay, the A represents archegoniophore. It is the archegonium flower like structure, and the stalk which is attached to archegonium is nothing but archegoniophore. And these two images are of Marchantia. Marchantia is a bryophyte which is belonging to liverworts. The thallus is flat. It is dichotomously branched. The ventral surface shows the presence of rhizoids, and on the dorsal surface here it is marked, and for that one only the option B is given. On the surface some cup-like structures. The dorsal surface contains cup-like asexual structures called gemma cup, and this is funaria belonging to mosses. Capsule and seta are the parts of sporophyte, but this portion is marked as C, and this is gametophyte. And D represents sphagnum, from which the peat moss is obtained. After decaying and drying, the peat moss is obtained from the sphagnum, which is used as packaging material. So the right answer for this question is option 2. Then moving to this question, this is very interesting. Here the leaf character, root character, flower characters, and stem characters are given, and in the options what are the characters representing the leaf, root, stem and flower of the dicot and as that of monocot, that we have to identify. Okay, let us move to this question and options one by one with the given part. Yes, in dicot I will mark the two portions clearly, one for dicot and one for monocot. So first let us have a look what is the character of leaf. So in the dicot leaf type of the venation found, it is reticulate venation. So leaf of the dicot, it shows reticulate venation. In the image, this is reticulate venation. So A becomes the character of dicot. So what happens to B, or what is the condition of B? So B leaf is shown like this, and here the lines are marked like this. This is called parallel venation, and parallel venation is the character of monocot. So B becomes monocot character and A is the dicot character. With respect to root, in case of dicot root, the condition is, see, this is outermost layer called epiblema. This is endodermis, innermost layer. Here the 4 patches of xylem, exactly 4, not more than 4. 4 patches of xylem and 4 patches of phloem. So exactly this is the xylem and this one is phloem. How many xylem and phloem patches are present? Exactly 4 patches. And look at the image. This is one patch of phloem, this is another patch of phloem, this is third patch and this is fourth patch. And here this is one xylem, this is second xylem, this is third xylem and this is fourth xylem. So tetrarch condition, tetrarch means 4 patches of xylem and 4 patches of phloem. If xylem and phloem are present exactly in the 4 patches, this is the character of dicot. So C is the character of dicot. Whereas in case of monocot, number of xylem and, in short, XY and pH for the phloem. Number of xylem and phloem patches is more than 4. So the condition becomes polyarch. When the number of xylem and phloem patches are more than 4, the condition is called polyarch, and polyarch condition is the character of monocot. So D is the character of monocot. Then vascular bundles of the stem. So have a look on the stem condition. In the dicot, the vascular bundles are arranged in one ring. What is a vascular bundle? It is the bundle of xylem and phloem. Why it is called vascular bundle? Because xylem and phloem are called vascular tissues. As they supply food and water, the vascular tissues, xylem and phloem are called vascular tissues because they are supplying food and water. Here always this is phloem towards the outside and this one is xylem. In between xylem and phloem, this is the phloem and this is xylem. They are separated by a meristematic tissue called cambium. In which stem I am talking? I am talking with respect to dicot stem. In the dicot stem, the xylem and phloem are separated by cambium. If cambium is present, the vascular bundle is called open type. Open type means it is separated by cambium, and due to the presence of cambium, the dicot stem shows secondary growth. Wood formation occurs in the dicot because of the presence of cambium. So therefore here F becomes the character of dicot, and in the monocot you can see here in case of monocot, vascular bundles have random distribution. No specific arrangement. Wherever they want, they are distributed. And important point is cambium is absent. Cambium is absent in case of monocot. That is why in any monocot, if you consider, there is no production of wood. ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೊನೋಕಾಟನ್ನು ನೀವು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗಲ್ಲೇ ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅಬ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್. ವೆರೆವರ್ ದ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ನಡೀತದೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವುಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಮೊನೋಕಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಚ್ ವೆಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಬಂಡಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಡ್ ವೆಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಬಂಡಲ್. So E, the stem character E is of monocot. Then flowers. This is the direct question and I explained in the characters of angiosperms. Trimerous, exactly 3 parts in the flower. 3 parts in the flower, trimerous. It is the character of monocot. Tetramerous or pentamerous. Pentamerous means 5 parts. Tetramerous means 4 parts. Presence of 4 parts or 5 parts in the flower, it is the character of dicot. So with respect to this, A is a dicot character, C is dicot character, then A, B, C, D, F is a dicot character, H is a dicot character. So B, D, E and G are the, there is G, E, yes, G, E, these are the characters of monocot. So the right answer for this question is option A. So option A is the right answer, showing the leaf, root, stem and flower characters of dicot and monocot. AC, FH show the characters of dicot, leaf, root, stem and flower, whereas BD, EG show the characters of leaf, root, stem and flower of the monocot. So moving to the next question. Consider the following 4 statements. The sporophyte in liverworts is more elaborate than in mosses. Salvinia is heterosporous. The life cycle in all seed bearing plant is diplontic. In pinus, male and female cones are born on different trees. Which 2 statements out of the 4 are wrong? What are the 2 statements which are completely wrong in the given 4 options? See, the sporophyte in liverworts is more elaborated than in mosses. This is wrong statement because mosses are the higher bryophytes than that of liverworts. Actually, in mosses, the sporophyte structure is more distinguished and more elaborated. So, the first point given with respect to the sporophyte of liverwort and mosses is wrong. What is the reason? In mosses, the sporophyte is more elaborated than liverworts. This is the right answer. That means right statement. In Salvinia is heterosporous. Yes, this statement is right. Salvinia is heterosporous. It produces 2 types of the spores, microspores and megaspores. Microspores on germination produces the male gametophyte and megaspores on germination produces the female gametophyte. The life cycle in all the seed bearing plants is diplontic. Only gametes are haploid structures. Only gametes are haploid structures remaining are diploid. In pinus, male and female cones are born on different trees. Again, this is wrong, because in pinus, male and female cones are born on different branches on the same tree. The single tree produces both the cones but on separate branches. So which one becomes right answer? The question is asked to identify. In the question it is asked to identify which two statements out of the 4 are wrong. First statement is wrong, fourth statement is wrong. So the right answer for this question is option 2. Then moving to the next one. Which one of the following is the major difference between mosses and ferns? Mosses are higher members of bryophytes and ferns are higher members of pteridophytes. Ferns lack alternation of generation while mosses show the same. No, in both the cases the alternation of generation is present. Mosses are facultative anaerobes while ferns are obligative anaerobes. Both of them are aerobes. They are dependent, compulsorily required oxygen for their existence. Vascular bundles of fern show xylem vessels while those of mosses lack it. This is also wrong statement. Mosses are without xylem itself, no question of xylem vessel. Sporophyte of ferns lives much longer as compared to the sporophyte of mosses. Yes, this is true, because in ferns, that is pteridophytes, the sporophyte is the dominant phase in the life cycle, whereas in case of mosses, that is bryophytes, the gametophyte is the dominant phase. So that in case of the ferns, that is pteridophytes, sporophyte lives much longer than that of the sporophyte of mosses. So the right answer for this question is option 4. Yes, moving to the next question. Again, some images are given with respect to the pteridophytes, because pteridophytes and gymnosperms. What the image A represents here, A is Selaginella, which is belonging to Lycopsida. B is Equisetum, belongs to Spinopsida. Salvinia heterosporus. Then ginkgo is a gymnosperm. So first 3 are the pteridophytes and last one is the gymnosperm. So these are the names of the plants given in the image. Rest of the things with respect to NCERT based questions and questions from the previous competitive exams, I will continue in the next video. Hope this explanation is clear for you. Thank you.